soul shall be mine. I must protect the wild.
Haha! Well, that is just about the most perfect hand I could hope for. Only better would be replace Shade with a zombie chow. Nice start to the new deck today. The new old deck. A zombie chow, so it's Handlock. I'd been thinking about a second BGH, but decided against. It like entirely depends on basically how much Handlock is out there. But not just that, the BGH isn't that bad a card nowadays. 4-2 is kind of hard to deal with, and so many people, including like the usual Zoo deck, which BGH was so bad against. It hits the Sea Giant, it hits the Void Terrors sometimes, it hits the Mal'Ganis, it hits the Dr. Boom. Did I say something twice? No, I said everything once. Okay, if I play Wild Growth, that means I can play Cenarius one turn early, which I guess we'll have to do. Or I could just play Harrison Jones now. Really tempting to Harrison Jones. No, that's fine. It's really tempting to Harrison Jones into Jiraxis, but playing a 5-4, that's alright. How does Druid match against Handlock? I think this stack performs poorly against Handlock. Handlock, I think exists in the meta, but isn't that much of a force at the moment.
I must safeguard the land.
It's one of the main matchups where, I mean, obviously, but adding a second BGH would help a lot.
I have no time for games.
Feel nature's wrath.
I have no time for games.
A lot of ideas being thrown around in chat right now about decks and viability. Right now, consider my general stance that every class is viable, even in top 100 Legend. And yes, I have thought about most of the things. Too difficult to answer every single one of those directly, but a broad statement like that should suffice. Alright, if I taunt, this guy might be able to go unchecked. The scout, rather. Don't want to trade, otherwise Hellfire. Well, yes, because Hellfire, yes. This hand's not looking too bad for me. Probably play the Ancient of Lore next turn? Interesting. That is interesting. Do I attack him? Not without an answer, I don't think I do. Not yet. Another Ancient of Lore. That's nice. 5-1 gets to put in a little bit of work. That's kind of nice. And I didn't want to attack through them anyways on this turn, so I'm happy to just clear the ooze. Probably draw more cards with Ancient of Lore again. Maybe also innervate out Azure Drake. Might play Ancient of War. Nah, he's got a silence by now. Innervate, Ancient of War. It's actually possible. I can't play either Giant plus Shadow Flame. I think this is a very good play right now. He can attack my Ancient of War and Shadow Flame, but he's already played one Shadow Flame also. I might win this game. It's looking not bad. Hoping to get a lot of value out of Kel'Thuzad next turn. He's running out of cards. I fortunately drew into both Ancient of Wars, which are the key card in this matchup when it gets late. Something that would really help is getting a BGH. I have to attack him eventually, and this is probably the turn where I set him down to... Well, I will attack still. Azure Drake swipe. That's looking pretty good. I like this one of Azure Drake precisely because sometimes you really want to Azure Drake swipe. 16. Or 21. 16. Not 11 though. The fear is the Molten Giant Shadow Flame by putting him down to 16. However, I did get rid of a Shadow Flame already. It enables this, and this, but I did have the Keeper of the Grove, which I thought might be sufficient. Is this enough for lethal? 5, 10, 14, Silence, Wrath, yes. Sweet.
I must safeguard the land. For the wild.
Can I play Ramp Druid without Cenarius? Absolutely.
I must protect the wild.
By no means necessary. You can replace them with something as simple as Piloted Shredder or Ascension Shieldmaster. Or Druid of the Claw. Or Azure Drake. Do you like this Druid better than the typical Savage Force Druid? If so, is that just because you don't like combo, or do you think that the list is more consistent, or what? So, the basic advantage of this deck against Savage Roar Force of Nature deck is that against aggressive decks, Savage Roar and Force of Nature are both terrible cards. It turns out that against aggressive decks, cards like Sludge Belcher and Ascension Shieldmaster and Ancient of War are really good cards on the other hand. The deck trades off the burst power for more consistency against aggro decks. Which I feel is a good trade-off at the present time. There's also more fine details on it too. For example, right now Patron Warrior is a popular deck, and Patron Warrior only has 2 executes and finds it difficult to get around Ancient of War. 5, 6. Freeze Mage, probably. Ancient of Lore is nice for the heal, but I'm going to be using it to draw cards. Well, I'll be. This is not Freeze Mage. Then what is it?
I must safeguard the land.
If I get a duplicate here, then... I mean, if I get a Mirror Entity, I'm happy to trade both Chows in.
I must safeguard the land.
Toss in an Innervate, sure. Could it possibly be a Mech Mage? Turn 1 pass, turn 2 pass, turn 3 Mirror Entity, turn 4 Piloted Shredder. That'd be insane. No. Tempo Mage? That seems unlikely too. Oh my gosh, it's Mech Mage. This is unlikely. MCT is going to be pretty good against Dr. 7. Like, Dr. 7 almost is certainly on his hand, given that his opening was so weak. Probably mulliganed into all the big cards, like Dr. 7 and Archmage Infinite. I do happen to have the 2 tech cards against Dr. 7. Oh, thanks. Three mana mind control, and get a 3/3. There's still a slight concern, though. That concern is that Archmage Antonidas is still very scary.
I've got the beast in my sights.
Well, maybe I should have attacked Innervate Hero ability. 4/2 is pretty good against it, though. Pass. Interesting.
Gotcha.
Turn 9. Pass. One of the cards is a spare part. Maybe he's waiting for turn 10 to exactly Archmage Frostbolt spare part. Please don't be Cloaking Field. I wonder if he was keeping one of the mech enabler cards like Goblin Blast Mage. Possibly. Got someone saying, I like Wild Growth as one of in this deck, 2 seems too slow. Well, welcome to 2 years ago. And I believe your mentality was shared somewhere between like 1.5 years ago during the Hearthstone beta, where most agreed that, like, oh, I don't want 2 Wild Growth. What if you draw some later? Might as well just use 1. Turns out common consensus is that 2 is really good right now. And arguably, people might even use 3 or 4, just because the opening with it is so good. It's possible. That was a pretty unfortunately terrible mage mech hand, somehow. I'm not entirely sure how you get so bad that you have to turn 3 Mirror Entity into turn 4 Shredder. Variance happens.
I will fight with honor. I must protect the wild.
How did you experience the tournament yesterday? For those not in the know, yesterday I cast the final, well, the top 4 of the HyperX head-to-head tournament with Savitz, and I liked it. I might try to get more casting. The games were good, the players were good, and casting is fun, as it turns out. Nothing against Savitz. Savitz is an excellent caster, but I do think the 2 of us are too similar, and I do need to team up with a hype caster. And so does he. Like, I wouldn't blame him if he said, nothing against Trump, but the 2 of us are too similar.
Reporting for duty. I must safeguard the land.
Really looking forward to drawing 3 cards with Harrison Jones. Bound to happen someday. Probably.
I have no time for games.
I've got my anti-Dr. 7. So if I swipe, I would be really hoping for not a 3-2. Probably worth the gamble. Senjin hero ability is not bad at all. Actually, that's better. This last silence has to be saved for Tyrion. And or Sylvanas. One of the two. If I manage to not use Harrison, that can be my Tyrion counter also. So I think this guy can only be played against Tyrion, Sylvanas. This guy wants to be played against Tyrion, but if he plays a True Silver or a Muster for Battle, I suppose I will. This card wants to be saved for Muster for Battle. These cards want to be saved for Dr. 7. So right now, a very situational hand, and I'm hoping to draw into Ancient of Lore. Or an 8 mana cost card, or a 9 mana cost card.
Move quickly. Follow the rule. Reporting for duty.
I'll give this a swipe. That's nice.
Let none survive.
Put your faith in the light.
That belongs in a museum, I say.
Let none survive.
Paladin running out of useful cards. However, I have to be forever worried of the... this one should actually do. And this. I do have to be worried about the eventual... there are two things I have to be worried of. Equality plus Consecration, and Muster plus Quartermaster. Against either of those, I don't really have an elegant way to deal with it. It's running really low on cards, and last turn he played Healbot in a non-great time, so I have to imagine his hand is mostly answers right now. That also wasn't a great way to clear off my Sludge Belcher.
Move quickly. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. To arms, men.
Oh, okay. Well, seems like a pretty good play. Fortunately, I do have the Azure Drake out, so the swipe does do a lot. Probably want to MCT first. I'm surprised it took him that long to think of that play. A little bit surprised. Oh, maybe he was afraid of me comboing him. 14, 18, 22, 23, 20. Yeah, that would be lethal. That's probably what took most of his thinking.
Engaging TC-130, mental dislocator. locator.
That's actually potentially super painful if he has Consecration. No, just Doctor 7.
I've got the beast in my sights.
It's gonna be Ancient of Lore, Big Game Hunter. Probably want to play the Ancient of Lore or War first. Clear the bombs. Definitely clear the Azure Drake with one of my guys.
The battle.
Who are you?
I've got the beast in my sights.
I have no time for games.
Reporting for duty.
I've said before, and I'll say it again, this deck is a lot like Face Hunter. Except instead of going for the face, you go for the minions. Six, 11, 15, 17, 19, 21. This is my very expensive Savage Rook.
Victory or death.
I must protect the wild.
I wonder if I should have kept Chow. Maybe I shouldn't have. That's a good draw. I think I went into the auto keep Chow mode there, but it was an incorrect keep. It's one of the... it's kind of pointless in this matchup. And can make the argument of, well then you might as well play it early if it's pointless so you don't draw it later, but better to... Okay, it actually manages to deal with an Armor Smith at least, so good job, Chow. You do that.
For the wilds.
And also attack it for insurance in case my Chow gets attacked somehow.
Let the pain speak to me.
Give him the... there's nothing too terrible he can do to me with this. I should stay on curve. I'll gladly Harrison the remaining bite. Execute? I don't know about that one. That's not Control Warrior because he wouldn't want to execute Lightwell. It almost has no effect. And yet as Patron Warrior, he should really value that execute. He almost certainly doesn't know that I'm... It's gonna be really tough still. Well, kind of. Wow, he used the last charge of Dustbite! Okay, it's probably not. Okay, it's Control Warrior. But then why execute a Lightwell? You make me sad, Control Warrior. I guess executing the Lightwell has the kind of effect of killing off the Chow. If I wanted to justify his play. I'm not that excited to play Emperor Thaurissan despite my heavy hand. Reason being, these cards aren't that great to get reduced. I can wait a turn on it. I'm not sure I have to kill that, but I'm going to kill it with Azure Drake Swipe. The curve is too good to not play that. Doctor 6? Alright, hero ability, BGH 2/5. And innervate out an ancient of Warlore. Which one will it be? Lore.
I've got the beast in my sights.
Means I should technically do this first. I mean, though there's... Wait, I don't even have enough cards in my hand. Wait, I have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, so... Now I have 8, so draw the cards. Then play the... This is dumb, there's no way I would ever not... But, whatever. It doesn't even matter.
Time waits for no one.
2 executes and a shield slam down, meaning as soon as I knock down that armor, or he uses the other shield slam, that Ancient of War is going to be very difficult to deal with. Nice. Revenge! Health is on. He only lost a bomb, right? He only lost a bomb. Okay. Five, 7, 8, 4, 6, and then innervate out that. Kel'Thuzad, very unusual in the warrior deck.
I bring life.
Do you need to kill the Alexstrasza? That'd be 5, 7, 3. 3, 7, 9? Only 2 cards left. Could also play Cenarius. Wild Growth. Wild Growth first, maybe get Wrath. It's pretty good, but not good enough here. It's gonna be 3 plus 6. What was my original plan? Why did I think I could play Cenarius? What the?
I must safeguard the land. Time waits for no one. Can't feel nature's wrath. Your magic shall not save.
Spellbreaker. It's a few unusual cards. Kel'Thuzad, Spellbreaker, Revenge. Interesting. I do have to make sure to play exactly 1 taunt each turn, so that he doesn't brawl multiple taunts, so I can space them out. Although Cenarius is fine here for 2 taunts. Yeah, it's okay.
Excuse me. Feel nature's wrath. Who dwells in this ancient land?
It's not like he can do 6 to me. Okay, there's the top deck brawl. It's not like it can do 6 even if I don't have a taunt. That's a taunt. Unstable ghoul. Wow. Top deck brawl again. Alright. Part 2. Is there any importance to me armoring up? It means I slightly less lose to Ragnaros, but 5/7 hero ability or 5/7 wild growth. Wild growth. 4 cards left in my deck. Kel'Thuzad maybe? Kel'Thuzad, MCT. No, I think 5/7/9 is best now that I think about it. Now the unfortunate part is neither of these guys. Well, no, this guy comes back with taunt. This guy doesn't though. No, I forgot this guy comes back with taunt. Yeah, of course he does.
I have no time for games.
This guy's top decks are insane. Alright, now play Solonis and hopefully not get wrecked here. Also play this one.
I have no time for games.
Very interesting deck. 2 brawls, and tossed in a Spellbreaker and a Revenge and an Unstable Ghoul, and a Kel'Thuzad. And we're not done yet, are we? Let's see. Lethal check. 6, 9, 13, 15, 20, 23. I have 24 damage. I need to get through 27, so that's not going to work. And he can take his Solonis, and that's probably the best play. In fact, I should suicide this guy while I'm at it.
Let none survive.
Nice, out of Ragnaros range.
I have no time for games.
Well played.
Well played.
Broken into the top 100. That feels good.